We get more into Jaylen Brown versus the officials. It's an ongoing battle, and trade rumors are surfacing. It's all right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Locked On Celtics pod, home of the winners.
Hey, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast right here in the Locked On Podcast Network. It is your team every day. Your team is the Boston Celtics, and I talk about them Monday through Friday. Bonus podcasts when they play. This upcoming week, they got a Friday night game. They got a Saturday night game in Atlanta. I will be in Atlanta for that one. So I'll give you a post game, hopefully from State Farm Arena. Hopefully they leave the arena open for me. Some don't, and that always annoys me. But I will be there for you with a bonus podcast. So make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Watch the show on YouTube. I'm John Karalis, beat writer for Boston Sports Journal. I've been covering the team for about 20 years now. Doing this podcast for 10, and I've written a couple books about the team as well. Today we're getting into trade rumors. How serious are the trade rumors? That's coming up later. We'll get into one stat that is the worst stat for the Celtics this season. Explains the Spurs thing a little bit. But we got to start with the thing that everybody's still talking about, the thing Jaylen Brown wants us to talk about, and that's the officiating. And we're going to do it with our guy, Tom Westerholm. Oh, why? Why booze?
That's rough.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Probably because of the topic. People don't want to. People booing you. People think you're just associating you with the ref. So
It's a mistake. It's a mistake more and more people are making, for sure. Also, I don't know that Celtics fans are going to love my Jaylen Brown talking about the refs takes. So actually, the booze is probably appropriate. But you know what? I've heard what makes you cheer. So they mean nothing to me.
I love that line so much.
It's so good. It's one of the best.
It's one of the best. That whole thing is one of the best Rick and Morty. So anyway, I haven't heard anything as far as in terms of a fine. League might just wait till Monday to do that. The thing that I think is new.
Wait till maximum eyes are on the situation so that they can be like, we are fining you, Jaylen Brown.
Yeah. Jaylen, we heard you. Your request has been approved. You have been fined. So the one thing that Jaylen said in this whole thing was like, I really wish someone would pull the clips, which to me, I knew it would be like a call to the bloggers to pull the clips, because I used to be a blogger back in the day, and that's exactly what I would have done. Oh yeah. And a couple of people did, and like I forget who it was, but like a couple of people did. And I'm going to find out just to give proper credit. I know Jack Simone did he put some stuff on Twitter, and then I think it's Adam Taylor.
Adam Taylor did one too. Yeah.
Yeah. Adam Taylor did one. That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah. Adam Taylor's one. So the conclusion is that Jaylen does have a point. And I don't think anybody's ever doubted that Jaylen has a point when it comes to the official. When he complains, it's generally because, like, look, he went to the line 0 times, and you can't honestly tell me that he was fouled 0 times on shots. So did the refs miss some calls? Absolutely, they missed some calls. And the conclusion that the Celtics take fewer free throws against good teams, which was Jaylen's like big kind of thing. Like, okay, that's kind of interesting, Tom, but I don't know, man. You tell me. I feel like the Celtics, we already know, Derrick White said it after the game, they don't take a lot of free throws. They're a jump shooting team. Jaylen attacks, and Jaylen occasionally gets like double-digit free throws. But Derrick shoots floaters and jumpers, and when he gets to the rim, it's because he can get to the rim. Payton Pritchard has developed the turnaround fadeaway. So when he looks like he's getting to the rim and he turns around and he clears them. These guys don't attack. They're not SGA. They're not like guys who are going in, initiating contact. And they're certainly not floppers. Jaylen is right about that.
Yeah.
So they don't shoot a lot of free throws anyway. And you know what happens against the better teams? They have better defenders. They defend better. They're not like it. I don't know that it's a conspiracy that for some reason that, you don't shoot as many free throws against good teams. I don't understand why. But like, well, it's because they're good.
Yeah.
And they don't foul as much.
No, 100%. And I wanted to really get like we have a lot of our basketball takes end up sounding somewhat similar because we agree on a lot of things. So I'm really curious, like, if you think I'm off base here, right? My honest take on this is, one, I think you're exactly right. I think if there is one Celtic who is likely to get a lot of free throws, it's Jaylen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So on nights when Jaylen doesn't get fouled that much, the Celtics aren't going to shoot many free throws. So that's the one thing I will say on that. Number two, I think when you look at when you go back and look at some of the clips where Jaylen is really getting on the refs, right? There was one where he got a bucket and he thought that Stephon Castle fouled him, right? And he really gave it to that ref, like really just was like yelling at him. I think part of me thinks that he thought he was going to miss it and he was trying to draw the foul and then he made it and didn't draw the foul. And so he was all keyed up to like argue that he should have gotten the foul call. And so he really went at the ref. Because when I went back and watched that play, I didn't really see a lot of a foul, like I watched a couple of them and it was like, I don't know. I didn't think it was that egregious. I didn't think it was that egregious. And then to me, the other point about that is then if you are complaining to the referees, like what is that going to do for you? Like, do you really think that's going to help? Because I see that and I think to myself, honestly, like officials are human too. And I think they generally do the best they can to like take that out of it, right? And to just kind of be, foul and travel and out of bounds calling robots, right? Like I think like they do their job as best they can. But like if you're complaining a lot and if you're really like getting on them a lot, I think you're less likely to get some of these calls in some of these games. Now, I know that there are times where a player will complain and then they'll get like 13 free throws in the next game. Like we just saw that.
Yeah.
Like a game ago. So like it's not a hard and fast rule, but I guess I don't think that like complaining about the referees is a super productive way to go about this. And to me, it almost makes me wonder if like Jaylen is reaching a level of fatigue that is making him a little bit more antsy and aggravated at the refs. Like, I don't know. Like that is all as speculative as it possibly gets, obviously. But like, I guess that's several points that I think after watching last night's game. I don't know that I think that it's productive. And I also don't know that I think he was necessarily right. I thought the Spurs defended really hard and really well. And maybe they missed a couple of calls that could have gone either way. But yeah, I don't know. If the Spurs aren't foul Jaylen, not many other guys are going to necessarily get to the line either.
So I think there are a lot of different conversations here. I think the retort there, just to channel some of the Jaylen frustration, is that on the other end, they're not getting the same benefit of the doubt. And some of the calls that the Spurs are like, okay, this is not a foul here. On the other end, it is a foul.
Yeah.
And there might have been a couple of those. And it's hard to say why, but like also good.
There was one Derrick White one, especially that I thought was like really egregious, where he got what looked a whole lot like a clean block and got whistled for. I thought Derrick had a pretty tough whistle defensively yesterday.
So that's a great point to make because, okay, Victor Wembanyama goes up to block Jaylen Brown and is mostly vertical, and Jaylen loses the ball and can sit there and be like, I was fouled. You say, maybe you were. And what ends up happening is some of it is the angle. You just didn't see an angle. From that angle, it looked like it was clean. It looked like ball first. And, importantly, not all contact is a foul.
Right.
There is contact that's allowed. And so you get Victor Wembanyama doing it, and okay, it may be hard to tell because he's almost 8 feet tall and he's jumping, and you're like, yeah, he looks like he kind of blocked that. Then you go to the other end and you get Derrick White, who's basically my size, like 6'5", and he makes a play, but he is extended and there's not as much body and all you see is arm. And you can say, okay, maybe he got the ball, maybe he didn't. You see a lot of arm, you see the follow through, all of that stuff. And so it looks more like a foul. And like, I'm not trying to defend all the officials here, but also, like, I would love to get Jaylen in an honest off the record moment. I wish I was at the beginning of this road trip now, not the end of it, to be like, hey, you went back and looked at this stuff, right? Do you still honestly think that these were all fouls? Or were you just like, I'm not going to blow up your spot. I just want to know what you actually think. Because I feel like half of the stuff that you're complaining about wasn't actually a foul. And what actually is the bigger complaint is we're not getting the calls on the other end. We're fouling more than they are. And it's a lot of similar plays. And if you're not, it's fine not to call it on one end, but call it the same way both ways. And also, I think what he wants is he said the inconsistency. He wants it, if it's a foul on Monday and it's a foul on Wednesday, and there should be a foul on Friday and Saturday. But it's like baseball with an ump with two different, like one guy's calling the outside corner and another guy isn't. And you're like, I'm throwing the same pitch. Why can't you two see it the same way? I'm making the same play. I'm driving, I'm initiating, and then, guys are doing these things, X, Y, and Z. I got the whistle 2 games in a row. Now I'm not. Why am I not? Like, what's the deal there? I think that's his biggest complaint. Let's continue that, and we'll get into that one stat that really is like, ugh, for the Celtics when we come back. I know which button I'm supposed to hit and just didn't do it. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. Fridays feel different. This feels like a Friday. It's a Monday show, actually. But Fridays are different on FanDuel. FanDuel's making them better with the NBA Happy Hour. You get a new way to kick off the weekend. It's a limited time window where special offers drop right inside the FanDuel app right before the action starts. It's every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So calibrate your time zones accordingly and log on to the FanDuel app, because Happy Hour always brings something new. Boosts, bonuses, surprises right before tip-off, right before the weekend starts, and you get a little extra energy there Friday night heading into a big night, big weekend of games. So check it out on the FanDuel app every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. When you sign in, it will ask you to set a limit, set a budget. Please do that, because sometimes it's easy to get carried away. Just set whatever your disposable income is. It $20? Is it $200? Whatever it is, that's the limit that you should set. And if you hit a cold streak, it's okay. FanDuel will step in, stop you. You can refill later on when you get some, paid again or whatever, and then go back into it. Then you can go back into NBA Happy Hour, which is only on FanDuel, the official sports book partner of the NBA. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On NBA, Locked On NBA Game Nights, 2 podcasts on the same feed. Game Nights, 7 nights a week, covering the entire league, the games of the night. Locked On NBA is going to get you afternoons, the big stories in the association. So go check that out wherever you found this podcast. All right, let's get back to the conversation here. This time I hit the right buttons. Jeez, man. I'm like, wait a second. This doesn't look right. Anyway, we're starting fresh. This is the second half. We're coming out strong. So the final thing when it comes to, like, I get it. It's not an invalid point that Jaylen is making. He does have a point. Also, I think it is, I would say, 25 to 35% valid. Probably 30 to 40% like overreaction. And then the rest is just like, now you're off. You're wrong. You know what I mean? Like there's some kind of like emotional feeling. You look at it and you're like, how did I get no free throws? And it's like, but hey, that's how it goes. It's not the first time in his life he's gotten 0 free throws.
Yeah.
And as we said the other day, like at some point you gotta let it go, because we can't be doing this every other game with like, oh, the refs again. But like, all right, yeah, we get it. But like, what are you gonna do about it? Are you just gonna sit here and complain the whole time, or what? Like, that's where ultimately it's gonna end up. Like, I don't know how many more times he can do this and have people go like, yeah, man, yeah, go get him, Jaylen. Like at some point, people are gonna be like, okay, just shut up and play basketball.
That is one of my biggest takeaways from this. Is like there comes a point where honestly, I think it even kind of starts this way. But when you complain about the referees at the end of a game, at the end of a loss, it's just kind of like, I don't know how else to put it except to say it's a little undignified. It's just kind of like, just
yeah.
And when you really get after it and you really get on them, it starts, he used the word conspiracy, and it's like, that is kind of yes, but in kind of a derogatory way. It's got like a little bit of like a hint of like a Pizzagate thing going on, where it's like, okay, chill out, dude. Like I don't know. I think that's really where I separate from Jaylen on this. It's just like, just check the ball a little bit. I don't know. Yeah.
And look, I'm sorry. I just, people believe in a lot of NBA conspiracies. I get it. I don't, because the league is making so much money. Why would they risk losing that credibility? And people go, well, Donaghy. Well, okay, Donaghy was one person. And is there another person in the league that might have, like, I don't know, maybe it's entirely possible, right?
Yeah.
But just because one person, like if somebody in a company is embezzling, is the whole company crooked? Like, no. Like, I just think the NBA has, or sports in general, it's like the number one thing fans say: this was rigged, this was fixed. Like, buddy, no, you can't. If there's in 2025, 2026, it's impossible to rig something, an entire league, without it getting out there. Like, it's the best kept secret forever and ever and ever that the entire league is fixing all of this stuff, fixing all the results. You can't possibly be in bed with all of this gambling. And like, it just the whole FanDuel thing. You think FanDuel will sit there and be happy to hear like, oh yeah, well, the Celtics game was fixed. Like, no, you can't, you cannot have that. It has to be on the up and up. Even maybe you can say that, well, the officials aren't good, and okay, fine. But
sure.
Then okay. But conspiracies, and they want this and they want that and they want this. And they're like, I don't know. Also, conspiracies have like a sliver of believability, and then people latch onto that.
Well, and in this case, right, the sliver of believability is that the Celtics took 2 free throws until like the final minute, right? Like, it's like that's where the sliver of believability comes in. Right. But to me, it's like, hey, Jay, I don't know. You already said you don't care about the fine. Tell us the conspiracy then. Like,
right.
You're already getting fined, man. Like, I don't think putting the conspiracy out there is gonna make it meaningfully more or less. Like, maybe it would. I don't know.
I think he did get into some of it on his stream, but whatever. Like,
okay.
We already spent like,
you gotta watch his stream more often, man. I don't know.
It's hard sometimes. It's hard. Like, you can't watch the whole thing. I feel like it's kind of like my job to watch more of it, but also I'm just like, oh God, okay, we get it. Like, and like I'm not the target audience anyway. So I'm like, okay, like some of the things they're talking about, I'm like, this is not interesting to me at all, which is fine. It's not supposed to be.
Right, 100%.
That's 100%. Like, that's cool. Whatever. Quickly, let's get into this stat. You're the one that pulled up the stat. Hit me with this one stat that really, really sucks for the Celtics.
Yeah. So the broadcast mentioned that the Celtics have a bad clutch record, and I was like, that's kind of weird. Let's take a look at that. So I pulled up the Celtics net rating in the clutch, which is minus 16.3. Rough, really rough. Sparked. Their offense is not great. 111.9. They're much better offensively in normal time. The defense is where it's really bad. Their defensive rating is 128.2 in the clutch, which is, drum roll, number 30 in the NBA. They have literally been the worst defensive team in the clutch in the NBA this season. Not what you want. Not and like look, the Celtics defense this year has certainly not been what it was last year, but in the clutch, it really just it has not been good.
Yeah. I think, look, Celtics have done great this season. And Jaylen even referenced this the other day. He thought it was going to be more baby steps, but they've come together really nicely. But I think the clutch is where you still see the baby steps.
Yes.
I think that's where the Celtics truly are shows itself. They can get a lot of things going and going well, right? Like Jaylen can have an amazing first quarter, then Jordan Walsh and Hugo Gonzalez and whomever come in and be great defensively in the second quarter, and Celtics can build a lead, and then Payton Pritchard can have a big third quarter, and Derrick White can have a big fourth quarter, and boom, you get yourself a nice 15-point win. You're like, oh, wow, these Celtics look good. But when it's, the gets tight, when things get tight down the stretch, and it's like, oh, okay, what do we do? It becomes like, okay, Jaylen has to take over and really ISO, and the defense keys in on that, and the defense keys in on the things. So it's not surprising, and that's the next, I think, kind of like phase for this team, and it's where they miss Jayson the most. And so, yeah, it's not surprising that they're not a great clutch team. What's their record in the clutch? 8 and
I believe it's 8-11 now.
8-11. They've lost 14 games. 11 of them are clutch games.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
So that tells you a lot. And that's look, they are surprising. They are a fun team. I've said it already. This season to me is already a success. I don't care where it goes from here. They could lose every game from now on. I don't care. Like they've already hit on. We already see the fringe guys. We've already seen like Hugo. We've seen all of this. We've seen Jaylen be a number one option. Boom, love it, done. I got it. I'm good. I'm gone. Let's the rest of the season is gravy. So yeah, they got to figure out the clutch stuff. But also, do they? You know, because Jason's coming back, and there's gonna be a new team next year, and that team is gonna have to figure out the clutch thing. If clutch is even a problem, like this year's team in the moment has to figure it out. But if they don't, I'm not going to go too crazy about it, because that's not what this team's going to be moving forward.
Yep. I agree with all of that. I think what they need to figure out, if they need to figure it out strictly in terms of this year, like let's find out what this team could be, right? This team could be really good. And Jaylen is, he's right. Like the baby steps, like we've seen a lot of big steps really quickly. And that's awesome, and that speaks really, really highly of these guys and their character as basketball players. Like it speaks really highly of them as competitors, all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think you're 100% right that what this season is about is not this season, and but I mean, I don't know, it's still fun. It's still a fun season, and if you. I think long term, I think this season is going to be viewed as like, man, you remember 2025, 2026? Like that was a fun year. I mean, flawed team, really similar, I think, to like some of those like the punk rocks era Celtics. Like that's what we're looking at here. Yeah. And like if this team wants to like make a semi-extended run, if they want to like make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, if they want to push it a little further, who knows? Like all of that stuff is going to come down to like, okay, can you start taking some baby steps a little bit faster on some of this other stuff? Yeah. Is it like 100% necessary? Is it like critical to the future of the franchise? No. But is it important for this year? Yeah, a little bit. If you want to make a little bit of a run, absolutely. Sure. That's the next area that needs to kind of get worked on.
What they shouldn't do is address that via trade this season and be like, okay, our clutch numbers are this. We got to go get a clutch guy. Do that. No. When we look at these trade rumors, it's got to be for next year. But we'll see when we come back. Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. During basketball season, there's nothing like being in the building, the energy, the crowd, that first run that gets people to their feet. I am there every night and I see it and it's awesome. I get in for free. I don't need the Game Time app. You need it. And I've used it before for other sports. It's easy to use, straightforward, intuitive. Finding tickets is just a few taps away. It's fast, it's simple, no guesswork. The view from your seat feature, if you've never been to the Garden, you want to see, you're not sure what section 114 means. All right, let's see what it looks like from the seat. And it'll show you. The price that you see is the price you're going to pay. They have features like zone deals that unlock great seats at an even better value. So NBA games, maybe you're on the road and you want to go to one of these road arenas, or maybe you just want to go to a concert or whatever. It's all there on Game Time. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets by downloading the Game Time app. Create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA. That's LOCKED, Locked On NBA, for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today and get in on the action. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. The number one Celtics podcast in the world on the Locked On Podcast Network, the number one sports podcast network on the world. You're an everydayer. Now join the Everydayer Club. It's $5 a month. It gets you ad-free audio on any podcasting app, all the major ones. It gets you access to our Discord server. It gets you merchandise drops. So go check it out at lockedonceltics.supercast.com. Lockedonceltics.supercast.com. $5 a month. Or if you want to pay for the year up front, $50 for the year. So you save on a couple of months there. Tom, trade rumors are starting to circulate, mostly around bigs. The one that is kind of has been floating out there, like Brian Scalabrine before the Denver game was like very serious about, no, the Ivica Zubac talk is like real. He was saying, we know it's going to be Simons. It's just a matter of how many picks, young wing, all of that stuff, which to me, okay, 2 first-round picks. My interpretation of that is it going to be Jordan Walsh? Is it going to be Hugo Gonzalez to get Zubac? That is not my reporting. It's my guess. If just going by what Scal is saying, when I say like Scal, like multiple times, like people were kind of like brushing it off, and he was like, no, like we should take this seriously. And
I like that you did a Scal voice for that.
Like, no. But he was like, Scal is serious because he like gets up and like leans into,
yes.
And he was leaning like, no. So anyway, I think like obviously Zubac would be a great get.
Yeah.
I do not want to trade Hugo Gonzalez. I do not want to trade this kid. I'm so high on this. Like, I'm not going to say it's like the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander inclusion in the Paul George trade, but whatever step down from Paul George to Ivica Zubac is that same step down that from SGA that Ugo is. And I think it's significant, but like you bring those sliders way down here, and we're in that same kind of like, it's like the G League version of, but you know what I mean? Like
I do. I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
I know Ugo is going to blow up in your face.
I know exactly what you mean, but it is hilarious to hear you say, listen, I'm not going to say the trading Hugo Gonzalez is trading a future back-to-back MVP award winner. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say it.
And I didn't say that.
And I
didn't say that.
Say it.
But however, not saying that. No,
no, you're literally not saying it. No, I know exactly what you mean, and I think you're right. I mean, I also would be really. It's funny, man. I would be really hesitant to do that because I think trading Ugo would be kind of doing what we were just saying, right? Where it's like you are like really taking a big swing on this season. And like when this season isn't really a big swing kind of season, maybe it is. Maybe like, look, if you think that Zubac is the thing that makes you the no questions asked favorite in the Eastern Conference, if you think that, okay. But I also think that like you go get Zubac and you trade Hugo Gonzalez and Anthony Simons, like
Yeah.
Anthony Simons is not
True.
nothing. He's a pretty good player. Like that's two significant wing guys, like guys who can play on the perimeter, going out the door, for a center, which you need. But like Nimi's been pretty good. And for this, I'm not saying, and again, you and I have both said, I'm not saying that Nimi is the starting center on a future championship team, but what I am saying is like he's been pretty good for this season. And if what we think this season is a punk rock Celtics season, right? Nimi's great for that. And Hugo is great for the future. So that's a really tough needle to thread for me.
So the only way that you think you got to get Zubac for this season, it's that you think not only is Jayson Tatum coming back, you think Jayson Tatum's going to be Jayson Tatum.
Right.
And that's where, like, I think Jayson Tatum's coming back.
Yes, I do.
But I don't expect him to be Jayson Tatum. Like, I've spent so much time saying Jayson Tatum's coming back, and now that people are coming around to it, I'm like, but wait a second, don't expect JT MVP candidate. Like, I'm saying Jayson Tatum's coming back so he can rehab and get himself right. So, like, my number one thing for if he comes back is like, great, he doesn't have to figure all this stuff out at the beginning of next season. That's the whole reason why I'm thinking he can come back. Now,
yes.
However, but if Brad Stevens looking at him and is like, okay, you know what? He is himself, and he's going to need, it's, I think yesterday, 8 months since the surgery. I forget. Well, while I'm talking, if you want to look at what day it was that he had the surgery, but we're like right at the 8-month mark, and the 8 to 9 months is right there for him to come back. And that, like, if the comeback stuff starts talking, like, starts getting hot now, February, if you get February, you get March to, like, get yourself right. It's not out of the question that by April, Tatum starts to look like Tatum again. You're like, hey, you're sending Hugo out and Simons and there's two, like, really important guys for this team now, and you're only getting one back. Well, if you're getting two back by getting Jayson Tatum, and you're like, okay, it sucks that you're trading Hugo Gonzalez because I think he's going to be a good player, and Simons, it is what it is. Then that's when you're like, okay, if they have like that, I know Jason's coming back and he will be himself. That's going to be the what the hell, why not? Let's go for it now. And hey, even if this run doesn't materialize, you have a playoff run now with Tatum and Brown and Zoo. And next year you can hit the ground running with, like, okay, guys, we just hit a taste of it. Let's go be serious about this. So that would be the kind of like the counterpoint of, like, hey, you got to give up something to get something.
For sure. And look, I mean, to answer your question, when people are presumably listening to this, tomorrow will be 8 months to the day. So yeah, I think listen, I think the thing about Zubac, right, is that he's not the thing to remember about him, and you're right. I mean, the thing to remember about Zubac is that he's not a stopgap center, right? Like, he's good. He is. You get him, you're getting a good center. He's not just like, we got to get somebody now. We got to get somebody in the door. It's like, if there's an opportunity there, I mean, you certainly have to consider it. I think Hugo's a really tough sell for me on Zubac.
Mm-hmm.
I have a really hard time with that one. You're right. Like, if Brad thinks that Tatum, I am also operating completely under the assumption that we are not getting 100% Tatum this season. That's just like,
I think that's fair. It's fair
just,
thing to, yeah.
It's just rational, right? Like, yes. I mean, listen, we all saw Gordon Hayward, and I'm not saying it's the same thing, but at all, by any means, at all. Knocking on wood. I just knocked Karalis out of his chair. I'm knocking on wood. We're not talking about that, but we all saw how much, like, just as an injury, from an injury perspective, right? It takes a while. It just does. It's hard to come back to playing NBA basketball after you've had a really significant injury. And listen, Tatum defies expectations constantly. He is quite literally built different, right? He is a very different guy from even the average NBA player. So maybe, but I think just kind of logically, rationally, I am not operating under the assumption that he is going to be back to 100% this season. And if that's not the case, I have a really, really hard time letting Hugo Gonzalez go, letting a rookie who's shown this much promise go at this stage. That would be really tough to do.
Look, call me crazy. I'd rather give up another pick than
I
Hugo,
would too. No, I am completely on the same page.
You know?
Yeah.
To me, it's Zubac for Simons, 2 firsts, and Jordan Walsh. Take it, go.
Sure.
Go.
I mean, I'm higher on Jordan Walsh than you are, and I'm still just like, yeah, no, fair enough. I get it.
Yeah.
Like, is what it is.
But if they say we want Hugo, I'd be like, look, no, you take Jordan in 3 firsts, and like that's how much I think of Hugo. Like, we'll give you another first. We'll give you a swap. How about that? We'll give you a swap in 4 years or whatever. And like that'll be presumably when like, hey, maybe they're not so good. Like, so what do we think? What do we think about that? Like that, I would rather do that. I'd rather delay the rebuild a year because I think Hugo's that good.
Yeah. And
like that's how much I think of him. So,
right. I mean, it's like the old Family Guy bit where it's like, hey, a pick could be anything. It could be Hugo Gonzalez, right? Like,
right. Yes. So I hope they take the pick. Yeah. While we're sitting here with the Hugo Gonzalez being like, ha ha. I don't know. Am I being irrational? I always have to ask myself, am I being irrational about Hugo? And then I got to tell myself, no, it's the kids who are wrong. All right, Tom.
How many adult animation references can we fit into one podcast?
We got the big ones. We got Rick and Morty. We got Family Guy. We got The Simpsons.
Yeah.
We like. Is there a South Park reference that we can get in there before we go? No.
There should be, but
I don't watch it enough. That's the one that I don't watch.
Yeah.
Smiling Friends doesn't have any references like that. I don't know if you watch Smiling Friends.
I don't know.
Oh my God. Watch Smiling Friends.
Okay.
Yeah. Watch Smiling Friends. It's like 10 minutes per episode. Very bingeable. It's just, I'm not going to say that, edibles are encouraged when you're watching that, but it does.
It might help the experience.
Anyway. Yeah. So, Tom, thank you very much. We're going to leave it there. I'm going to stop. Tom, all right, man. I'll see you later. Thanks.
Appreciate you, man.
I do appreciate Tom. We're just having some fun here at the 38-minute mark. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. Next podcast is post Pacers. Jaylen Brown does not look like he's going to play in that game. Josh Minot will not play in that game, but we'll see how it goes. It's the Pacers. They're not good, and so they should still win. Free podcast all week long. I will be in Atlanta for Celtics Hawks. So hopefully post-game, there will be a post-game podcast there, a bonus podcast, hopefully from State Farm Arena. So check that out. Make sure you're subscribed. Watch the show on YouTube. Get in there. And then I would love it if you shared the podcast. Tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.